Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Adrian's Digital Basement. On today's video, I'm doing an unboxing. It's a Wednesday video, it's a mail call item, and there's a lot of stuff to look at. So, without further ado, let's get right to it. If you watch my mail call episodes regularly, you probably already have an idea who this package is from. Large U-Haul boxes. It all goes back to that Apple II Plus that I got from Stuart in New Hampshire. And he sent it in U-Haul packaging just like this with absolute expert level packing. Like completely amazing. So let's open these up and see some more amazing expert level packing. Not to mention there'll probably be enough insulation in here that I could insulate half of my house. I'll have to reposition the camera so we can see this stuff on the floor. So 2 large U-Haul packages arrived. This top one is labeled box 1 of 2 and it's relatively heavy. And this one underneath here is labeled box 2 of 2. And of course I'll start with box 1 of 2. Ah yes, expert level packing. It's already here. There's a pull string, and we have a thumb drive, which actually says, "Watch me before opening," on both sides. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. I will honor the thumb drive command. Memorex, 16 gigabytes. Ah, there we go. Let's plug this in. We now have a G drive with a little bit of stuff on it. Here we go.
Yo, Adrian! You talk a lot about Commodore this and Tandy that, and even some Apple things here and there, but did you forget about Atari or what? Gaming systems like Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo all owe their existence to the reach and impact of the Atari 2600. Then the home computer market was primed by the Atari 400, 600, and 800 lines. Atari even got its own DC comic. And let's not forget that there's now Atari hotels. Commodore doesn't even have a motel, unless you count their abandoned headquarters. Ew! The 80s were totally awesome thanks to Atari and the candy from that time. Both are so much better than anything we got going on today. And both show the dominance of American ingenuity. USA! USA! USA!
That's it. That's it. So I guess we're going to be looking at some Atari stuff, I suppose. All right, the camera should be positioned so you get a good view inside the box, just like I do. So here we go. Pull on the drawstring. The drawstring. What are we going to look at? Aha! Oh, we got some Ataris. All right. Hey, it's actually kind of funny because right here is the other Atari 400 I recently showed on the channel. And this one here that was donated apparently doesn't work. So maybe this one does, or maybe this one does and this one doesn't, or who knows? Maybe I can make one that's a parts machine, or maybe I can combine 2 machines together to make one working machine. Let's check the trap door. Anything inside here? Nope. It's empty. And we have a nice shiny manual, the Atari Basic Computer. Awesome. Okay, what's this? We have, what? Okay, this looks like a 400 with a replacement keyboard, which I guess was a popular mod that people did because they really loathed and hated the membrane keyboard. Now this poor computer is definitely a little bit worse for wear. Here is the lid, and there's little bits of plastic that have actually fallen off. So I think this actually might have snapped off in shipping because there's a piece of the plastic here as well. And there's one missing key, and I don't see that in the box. Overall, this whole computer is, well, shall we say, in pieces. All right, anyhow, there we go. And I think there are pieces of that top lid in here. Like here's the little spring, I guess it is, the little spring that keeps it closed. So that definitely didn't survive shipping, amazingly, as well packed as this whole thing is. Oh my goodness, look at this, everyone. Okay, well, let's see here. Right off the bat, we have an Atari 800 XL, and this poor thing is a little bit beat up. Hope you can see in the camera, but these keys in the middle are very bent down. So that's seen better days, this poor old beast. These buttons are all binding up and stuck, and I just had to go in the other room because somehow the Amazon device, which I won't say its name, decided to start playing music off Spotify randomly. Did I say anything that would trigger that? I don't know. Anyhow, this poor old beast has seen better days. Even the cartridge slot on the top there is bent, but otherwise it's not too bad. Ooh, I can see a lot of rust inside that port there. So, yep, poor thing. All right, what's this? Looks like we have another 800 XL. This one, wow, even this one has the keyboard kind of bent in the middle. Does that come across on the camera there? That's definitely not normal. Overall, the condition of this one is far better. And it looks like we have a slightly different Atari machine here. This one here is an Atari 600 XL. Could I tell you what the difference between the 600 XL and the 800 XL is? Nope, not really. I know the 800 XL is essentially just like the 400 and the 800, except this has built-in BASIC and a full 64K of RAM. So you don't need to stick a BASIC cartridge into this one to get BASIC on it. The 600, on the other hand, it's smaller than the 800. I don't know what else is different about it, though. At least this one, the keyboard does not appear to be bent at all. All right, we got another thing here. This looks like, I'm gonna guess, a 2600, and it is. It's an Atari 2600, and it's interesting because it doesn't have any of the wood grain. It's completely black, the plastic. And I guess it's only got 4 switches here, while the earlier ones had 6. So I guess that means this is a later one, suppose. There will probably be some experts on here who know a lot more about these than I do. All right, let's keep going here. So we have an Atari power supply, and this is output of 9 volts AC. So when I posted that last video of the Atari 400, a bunch of people had let me know that the 800 and the 400 and the disk drive all run off 9 volts AC. And that's because they have a little power supply inside that takes the 9 volts AC and generates a 12 volt rail and a minus 5 volt rail and a plus 5 volt rail, stuff like that. So a single power supply like this can allow the computer to easily derive all those voltages. All right, we have one of the early Atari joysticks, and this is not one of the flashback ones because this is a rubber coating on it, and it also does not unscrew. So I guess this is original. And we have a set of Atari paddles. So this is a single joystick port, and you get 2 paddles. Now, these electrically are slightly different than what the Commodore 64 would need to use for paddles. But if you plug this in, it's not like it breaks anything. It's just the range of these potentiometers isn't quite the full range of what the Commodore 64 can do. So like your character doesn't move the entire width of the screen or something like that. So I have another set of these actually, and I was gonna do a video where I'm trying to modify one of these so it at least has the correct range for the Commodore 64. Oh, and sorry, Stuart, I'm talking about Commodores, even though you said in your video that I always talk about Commodores. All right, this looks like an original 9-pin Atari extension cable. Interesting. All right, we have a game cartridge, and it is Astro Blast. All right, another Atari joystick. This one looks different. I guess the little bellows part here looks different. It is rubber. Anyhow, yeah, I'm not familiar with these. As I'd mentioned before, I don't totally love these types of controllers because they do kind of hurt your hand. Maybe these came from the 8-bit computers. These might have been from one of those. Here's another Atari power supply. This one's also 9 volts AC, but it's only 15 VA. The first one I showed was 31 VA, so a bit more powerful than this one is. All right, we have another controller. This looks like the type for the 2600 maybe, and just as I remember as a kid, this bellows part seems to be kind of tearing a little bit. Eventually this all comes off and falls apart. And we have another Atari branded power supply, and this one will be for the 2600. Uses this little, I don't know, tip and ring type jack. What is this, 1/8 inch, I guess? Yeah, I think it's also 9 volts AC. And then we have something here called the keyboard controller. This definitely connects to the same joystick port. I'll have to do a little research on what this is, but it's got, well, basically like a DTMF telephone keypad, 1 through 0, 1 through 9 and the 0, and a pound and a hash symbol. And the buttons feel pretty horrible when you push on them. Kind of nasty. Like this was, I hope this wasn't an expensive thing for Atari to sell back in the day, because it's just, the buttons feel terrible. All right, what is here? It looks like we have quite a plethora of game cartridges. Definitely some more 2600 cartridges. We have Galaxian and Donkey Kong, and we have Moon Patrol and Missile Command for the 2600. And we have Barnstorming and the good old venerable Space Invaders. And here's a game called Warp Lock, and we have Space Attack. And we have Snake with a whole bunch of S's, Snake. And we have Encounter at L5. Hopefully those come across in the camera. They are shiny labeled. All right, and we have a box of what looks like vintage candy. It says 100% rad, 80s, and rad there. 1980s nostalgia retro candy. That's a new thing that I haven't known people to be getting into. But we'll have to just take a quick peek in this. And then we have a box here, which I'll need to get my cutter to open this up. And would you look at that? A whole bunch more cartridges. I can see some for the computer here. So let's just quickly look at these. Atari Cookie Monster. We have Volleyball, Haunted House, Pac-Man, Millipede, Night Driver, Berserk, Maze, Alpha Beam with, looks like Sonic, Vanguard, Jungle Hunt, Warlords. We have that already. Surround, Bowling, and then these are all game cartridges for the computer, the 8-bit line of computers. This one's completely unlabeled. Interesting. We have Popeye, Cocoa Notes, whatever that is, Star Wars, the arcade game, chess, and then all of these, you can see they say left cartridge on them. Miss Pac-Man. This is the basic cartridge you need to get those things working. Defender computer game. Pac-Man, so we have Miss Pac-Man and Pac-Man. Missile Command for the computers. And we have the Education System Master cartridge, whatever that is. This one is the Video Easel, so I suppose that's like a paint program. And we have Star Raiders, and we have Jungle Hunt. Don't let the small size of these computer cartridges fool you. The computer graphics and sound is a lot more capable than the 2600, so these games are quite a bit better. Okay, well I think that's it. I'm gonna just lift the bottom of this just to make sure. No, that's definitely it. There's nothing further inside this box. Onto box 2. And here is box number 2. Well, and over here on the far side, there is another thumb drive. And this one says, watch me before opening number 2. All right, there's an Atari 2600 on my desk. Here is the first thumb drive. We'll unplug that and plug in the second thumb drive here. What mysteries lurk on here? Video number 2.
Good afternoon, Mr. Black. I have been rather impressed with your channel lately, and it surprised me that a Yankee would be as capable as you were. Then when I discovered you were Canadian, a country with enough sense to still recognise Her Majesty the Queen, it made sense. Not to say we don't still have much love for our wayward children in the colonies, but at times we do have to remind them that Mother does know best. Now, I know that for many over here, big and gaudy is all the rage, without much consideration for quality. Just look at those Atari Hotel monstrosities. Or talking about how many millions of computers were sold. Sure, sell them to people who apparently plant them in fields to become anthills, until somebody like you saves them. But let's be honest, we all know that good quality is the most important factor. Just like our amazing British candy, computers from Great Britain have always been the best in the world. The best of British. Keep calm and retro on.
Well, that was pretty funny, indeed. I'm from Canada, but I have lived in the US for much more than half my life. Okay, back to the unboxing. All right, on to box number 2. So I'll move these purple foam pieces out of the way. Look at this, it's part of Pink Panther's face on this pink foam. Another drawstring. Let's lift the hatch. What mysteries lurk within here? I see a lot of things packed in here. A lot. Okay, this must be bubble wrap packing material. It is. I see something here from the UK. Let's lift the first one out of here. What is this? Oh, look at this. A Sinclair 128 ZX Spectrum Plus 2. That is cool. Oh, that keyboard feels horrible. It's so bad. Oh, wow. To anyone who owned one of these, was this keyboard as horrible as this? When you owned this computer, it's like it binds up really badly. If you don't push the key perfectly in the center, it does not want to go down. But this is a cool machine. It's got the built-in cassette drive, and I think this has the AY sound chip, which I recently showed on the channel. Now, of course, when you're seeing this, this could be months later from when I just showed the AY sound chip on a mail call, but I think this added much more capable sound compared to the original ZX Spectrum, which was just like a beep speaker, so to speak. And of course, a better keyboard, but is this really better? Debatable. Very cool though. There seems to be something loose inside. What do we have next? Look at that. Arguably one of the coolest looking 8-bit computers ever. I mean, there's a lot of debate around that, of course, but I love it. Amstrad CPC 464. This had 64K of RAM and this awesome keyboard with these colored keys. And yeah, that feels a lot nicer to type on, actually. Has a number keypad, arrow keys, built-in storage with this cassette drive. And yeah, this thing is nice. I have never played around with one of these. Of course, my Mister can emulate the Amstrad, but I've never had one personally. So this will be super cool to dig into. Okay, what do we have next here? Aha! We have another Sinclair. This poor thing has a, has a missing key. Now, if I recall with this, which is what? This is a ZX Spectrum Plus. I think I might have one of these. And the problem with these are the keyboard membranes always fail on these. And the one I have also has a keyboard that doesn't work at all. And I know I said this was quite a long time ago now that I was going to order the membrane to replace it. And I didn't. I didn't do that. So I haven't really even been able to test that thing because of that. But essentially, this is the same as the original ZX Spectrum, just with a little bit more capable keyboard because you have actual keys. But unfortunately, underneath is a membrane that goes bad, just like on the original ZX models. So it's a problem. All right, what do we have next? Ooh, we have another Spectrum Plus, which I don't quite get how they're both missing the same key. How is that possible? And it's not broken either. It's like someone pillaged, or as they would say in the UK, pinched. Someone pinched those keys. That's interesting. Okay, what do we have here? We have nothing. And this as well. That's nothing. All right, so here it looks like Stuart has gone ahead and sent both delete keys. That was the key that was missing. It's also a keyboard stabilizer, plus a bunch of, I don't know if these are for the ZX Spectrum or not. They're little, I don't know, what are those called? Stems, keyboard stems, right? And then we have a little box from the UK here. Let's just see what's in here. Is this some candy? Oh, it is indeed. Now, is that not cute or what? I think this is a bunch of Cadbury candy. It is. These are chocolate bars. All Cadbury chocolate bars that I'm pretty sure are not commonly available in the US or Canada. Although maybe Canada has it. Flake. I've had Flake before. Good stuff here. Really good stuff. I'm going to set it with the retro candy from the other box. And we have another thumb drive. Watch me before opening number 3. Watch me before opening number 3. So out with the number 2 thumb drive. Stick this one in. It's actually kind of nice. Thanks, Stuart, even for these 16 gig thumb drives. They're always useful to have extras of, right? And we have video number 3.
Assalamu alaikum, Adrian Black. The Middle East countries are often overlooked when it comes to discussions on technology and computers. Builders of amazing works like these pyramids, developing medicine while Europeans were still using leeches. And most important, the birthplace of mathematics. Dating back to 3000 BC, we introduced the world to the use of zero. And how can you have computers without 1 and 0? Is this not retro enough for you? Like our sweets, we've taken the time to perfect the process over thousands of years. Well, actually, our sweets are probably better than our computers. But still, we must be included in the discussion of computers and the contributions we made. Be well, my friend.
All right, well, that's cool. I wonder what goodies are going to be inside the box, and maybe some awesome sweets from the Middle East as well. Before I open this up, I want to remind everyone that it was Stuart who sent me a Commodore 128 that had Arabic characters printed on the letters. And actually that machine is in need of a repair because I don't think it worked. And maybe it has some cool localization with like an Arabic Commodore font or something. Not quite sure. It'd be interesting to check that out. So I will be checking that out in the future, but maybe there'll be some more interesting machines like that in this box. All right, expert level packing as usual from Stuart. What do we have here? What is this? Does anyone know what this is? The AX230 64K personal computer? And it's got Arabic characters up here along the cartridge slot. Oh, it's an MSX. An MSX, and then keys. Oh, that feel very nice to type on. Also with Arabic characters. That is cool. And then it has a standard looking US plug, which is intriguing to me. Let me look on the back here. It says it can run on 110, 127, 220, or 240 volts, 50 or 60 hertz. It's a model AX230GL personal computer, and it's all in Arabic there. So yeah, Google Translate maybe to the rescue? I'll have to get to that in a second. Looks like on the back here where the power cable goes in, there's a voltage switch here. So that's kind of cool, a standard US plug, but multi-voltage input. And a really interesting MSX with these awesome Arabic characters on it. That is super cool. All right, and there's something else here. What's this? Oh yes, okay, so there is something here. There's a cartridge for that computer, which has Arabic characters and it says faces. Anyone have any ideas about this one? Neat. And then, as I was hoping, a nice box of assorted sweets. Premium, and those look super good. Oh boy, yum. Arabic assorted sweets. Oh, so cool. All right, actually in the bottom of this box, you can hopefully just see it. It says, please watch before opening number 4, which of course is what's below here. With all this human malware, I don't get to travel anywhere, and yet Stuart is allowing me to kind of go on a whirlwind trip. Because honestly, whenever I go to a foreign country, if I can, and if I have time, I'll try to buy some local machines off of eBay and then bring them home with me. It's definitely not always possible, but sometimes I've been able to do that. It's how I ended up with 2 BBC Micro Model Bs, which I haven't really shown the channel much other than me bringing them home and I think briefly testing them. And then I also have a ZX Spectrum, the original, I think in issue 2 or issue 3 that I also bought. But I was lucky I was able to send that to one of my coworkers in the UK and pick it up when I was there on a business trip. All right, let's check out this video. All right, out with the thumb drive number 3. And in with thumb drive number 4 here. Video number 4.
Comrade Black, there is much talk about who is superior computer maker. But can this really be in question? The great people of Soviet Union are #1 in everything. We create first artificial heart. We are first man and woman in space. We even beat great USA in basketball. So it's without doubt that Soviet scientist is best in world and must make best computers. Capitalist West only steer our technology to make toys you throw away in field. Nobody throw away top quality Soviet product ever. Great Donkey Kong with amazing dance music throws away cheap wine barrel. But nobody throws away vodka. Keep you warm and clean microchip better than Deoxit. Soviet candy is also best in world. In Soviet Union, candy crushes you like borscht. Now you must experience truth and share it with world.
All right. Oh, that's too funny. Oh, wow. I am super intrigued. I'm really intrigued now, actually. What's going to be inside the box? Okay, what's behind door number 4? Expert level packing achieved. Seriously. Okay, I went right for the candy, obviously. So these must be some Russian sweets. I can tell these are chocolates and things. Oh, and they probably have alcohol in them. That's awesome. Ooh, yes. Awesome. Okay, on to whatever else is in here. Let's see. Maybe I should go right for this thing here. Something intriguing. It's quite large. Okay, let's lift that out. Just make sure that these little rolls here don't have anything hidden away in them. Okay, what's in here? What is in here? Something from Russia with love. Got some Cyrillic characters there. Okay, what do we have in here? This box is definitely old. Okay, let's peel back the layers. What? Look at this. Okay, we got some manuals here. I got no idea. I have no idea. Wow. Let's just move these very delicately printed manuals away. I think before I go any further, I'm gonna move the big box out of the way so I just have this because it's teetering very precariously on the edge of the box here. Let me move this Atari 2600 out of the way and bring back the Russian or Soviet era computer here. Let's see what this says on the box here. Any of my viewers if anyone can read Russian, please post a comment. Say what this actually says. Neat. I took the piece of cardboard that was on the top of this thing. So we got some of the features here. Kind of looks like a ZX Spectrum clone of some kind. And it looks like someone has written in some numbers here. Is that a date? 591. Just check out that computer in the picture. I guess that's what's in this box. Can't wait to see. All right, let's see. What's this? We have some cables here. Goes from 1 DIN connector to 3 DIN connectors. I mean, yeah. Your guess is as good as mine of what those are for. And this cable here definitely looks like an RF cable. It goes from DIN on one side to kind of a cinch RF connector that's typical used outside of North America. All right, let's lift the cover on that. Oh, look at that. Wow. Nothing else in the bottom of the box. Let me just move this so we can take a look at this computer. Look at this thing. It is so cool. I'm just gonna try to give it a little bit of a clean. Now, this must be yellowed, right? This can't be the original color, although the batch here does have the same color on it, so maybe? So the keyboard feel is, shall we say, pretty crap. It works. It's better than the Atari 400 keyboard. You probably would get used to it after a while, but it's very, very scratchy feeling. The layout, interesting. I mean, it's got Cyrillic, and then it has what seem like Roman characters as well, but the layout is very unusual. Now, I don't know if that's maybe because someone took the keys off and moved them around, but yeah, Q is here, W is there, E is there. Got the square brackets there. Number keys are in the usual spots, and quote is Shift 2, which is kind of normal for back then. Enter, backspace. We have arrow keys here. I assume this is like some kind of application keys. Tab. I guess that's a tab key. It's just so neat. So what do we see on the back here? Okay, so there are some ports. Very interesting, like multi-pin connectors. Lots of DIN connectors that are all exactly the same. So they are labeled. There's some Cyrillic characters above each one. So I'm definitely going to have to do some research to try to figure out how to connect this thing. As obviously I can't power this up when all the DIN connections are exactly the same. Kind of reminds me of the TRS-80 Model 1. That thing had 3, if I recall, DIN connections: power, video, and the cassette port, and they were all exactly the same. Same pinout for the power even. I mean, it's just completely silly. Why would they do something like that? And there's the badge on the bottom, and it does have what looks like a date code, 9110. So I'm assuming that's 10th week of 1991. All right, so in the box was this little cardboard box that looks like it's got the power supply in it. Wow. So there it is, the power supply. So it has a 2 round pin plug here. So this will definitely be 220 volts. So not directly compatible with the US here. Looks like it has a date there, 91, 2nd week of 91. Definitely a little bit of what looks like corrosion in there. And I can see think there's a transformer here, voltage regulators over here. So definitely AC to DC converter would not work here in the US. And on the front, there's the DIN power output, fuse, and a power switch. This is just so cool looking. So cool. Just completely unknown to me. Completely unknown to me. Wow. So I'd imagine that this 2-wire DIN connector here is for the power, because most likely something like this was probably for maybe the audio video output or something like that. And I'm assuming with these large connectors here, there was a way to plug in disk drives and external expansions and things like that. This is just super cool. Just so cool. I was taking a look at the power supply here, and I see right there 5B 1,5A. So I'm assuming that means 5 volts, 1.5 amps is what actually comes out of this thing. So that's good. That means it's will be easy to replicate this power supply if that's just 5 volts and send that into this thing. So it's not using like multiple voltage rails, which is good. And actually, considering it's from 1991, even though the chips in here are probably clones of Western chips, they probably weren't cloning, say, 4116 RAM that had plus 12, plus 5, and minus 5 volt rails. So that way this entire thing just runs strictly off of 5 volts. Now it will be PAL video output. Don't even know if this thing has color or not, but it will be 50 hertz for sure coming out of here. But luckily the RetroTink can handle that. And I'm just gonna move this out of the way and we'll take a brief look at the candy. So here's all the candy that Stuart sent. I am not gonna taste test all of this in this video. In fact, I'm starting up a second channel, which I haven't figured out the name of yet. And I will be putting candy tasting, among other things, on that channel. It'll be sort of a more random place for videos. Anyhow, if we go backwards in the opening of packages, indeed it seems like a whole bunch of probably absolutely delicious Russian candies and stuff. I'm gonna, okay, in fact, actually in this one, there's a maggot in the Russian one. Okay, I'm just gonna close this right now, and I will put this in a sealed container and deal with that in a little while. Next up, there is some candy from the UK, all Cadbury chocolate it looks like, which is yummy. There's a picnic bar, flake, and other good stuff. And then this is Arabic assorted sweets, premium. This candy looks delicious. Flaky pastry, probably yummy honey taste mixed in there with nuts and stuff. Ugh, yum, yum. And then we have some retro candy here from the US. I am very curious what retro candy is exactly, because I mean, candy is pretty retro. It's not like new candy's really come out recently. Candy's been around a long time. The stuff I could get in the 80s, I could still get now. The original vintage candy company. So all sorts of packs here. Oh, if I see for people's birthdays, happy 40th birthday, 55 pieces. Happy 50th birthday. Happy 80th birthday. And then you have 90s candy, 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s. Okay. Sour stuff. Looks like a mix of new and old US type candy. Thank you. Visit us on Amazon. Oh, okay. Pretty neat. A little bit about the company that makes this stuff. Looks like in the picture here we have Brock, Eli, and Rhea. Little family, the people who own this company. That's pretty cool. And we just look in here. Oh yeah, I mean, definitely stuff you can still buy today. Like I think I have some of these Smarties upstairs up in the house. Trolley, pop sticks, Fun Dip. Oh, I ate this a lot when I was a kid. Nerds, I also ate tons of that. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, I suppose maybe there's nothing here that's not currently made. They just assemble all the candy that was available in the 80s. All right, that's pretty awesome. Ooh, I smell the bubble gum here. I'm gonna eat this piece right now, actually. Double bubble, full of sugar, but that's okay. So everything is open. The basement is a bit of a chaotic mess right now, let's just say. There's stuff everywhere. So it's gonna take me a little bit of time to sort and organize. And there's so much going on here, like interesting machines like this Arabic MSX, and of course this machine from Russia, plus the Amstrad CPC, and lots of Atari machines, including the 400 on the floor that I showed recently. So there is lots upcoming. I don't think I'm gonna do any testing of these machines for this video. So I guess it's purely just an unboxing one, so to speak. And just look for future videos where I focus in on various machines here to see if they're working, like this Spectrum here. And I obviously have some parts I need to order, like the membranes for those two ZX Spectrum Pluses, and I actually have a third one that is in its original box that another viewer sent in from the UK. That one definitely needs the membrane, so gotta order some parts. So I'm gonna go through all the inventory of stuff here, figure out what's what. I'm actually gonna probably make a list so I can just start keeping track, and then also figure out what I need to order. I should probably order a step-up transformer, right? Something that converts to 240 volts so I can actually hook some of the stuff up that is designed for 240 volts, like this Russian computer. That way I'm not screwing around trying to make the power supply. I don't know. I'll think about that. And yeah, there's just so much going on here. There is so much content, not to mention the stuff that Stuart has sent in before, like the SX64 I have to get back to, and the Arabic Commodore 128 that he sent in. And I think there might be some other machines too that I'm pretty much forgetting about, not to mention all the other stuff that my viewers have sent in for mail call items, which I cannot say enough about how blown away I am at the generosity of all of my viewers. So I think I'm gonna end the video here. I wanna say thank you to all my patrons that have been supporting me already, especially because at this point I'm filming this, I haven't even officially launched Patreon. I have a page, but I haven't put it online, and already I have people who have signed up. So thank you to them. If you want to support the channel yourself, you can do so. There's a link in the description. And I think that's going to be it. Thanks very much for watching. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.